So this new filter in Photoshop, actually the regular Photoshop, not the beta, not only removes blemishes, here's the before, here's the after, but also it maintains the exact skin texture. Have a look. Here's the before. Look here. It's the same skin texture wherever you look. Let's zoom out. Let's take a look right here. Here's the before. Here's the after. It removes all that, but does maintain the exact skin texture that was there before. How cool that is. So this new feature is available in Camera Raw 18.5 and above, so make sure you update that. And no matter how you open Camera Raw, it will be there. For example, here I have a raw photo. Let's drag it and drop it into Photoshop. And as you know, since raw photos automatically open up in Camera Raw, you can simply go to the remove section inside of that, scroll down, and you will find blemishes right there and click on apply. And it automatically goes away. We're going to take a look at it in detail later, but for now, let's say you have a JPEG. What do you do then? It also works with the simple Camera Raw filter. Press Ctrl or Command J to make a copy of the background layer. Then go to Filter, Convert for Smart Filter so you can change the values later. Now go to Filter, Camera Raw Filter. And even here, you will find, if you go to the remove section, you will find blemishes right there. So many ways to apply. Just wanted to share with you many options that you, my friend, have. Let's talk about how it actually works, starting with the amount slider. First of all, as a quick refresher, you can access it directly using the remove section. Scroll down and just open up blemishes. Check apply. It takes a little while, but much faster than doing it manually. And as you can see, it is all gone. To have a look at the before and after, just click on the eye right there. Here's the before. Here's the after. Pretty amazing job. Now, what does the amount slider do? The amount slider is not like opacity. It does not control how much of the blemishes will show up or hide. It simply controls which blemishes will show up and which ones will hide. If you take the amount slider all the way to the left, of course, every blemish shows up. But as you gradually start to increase the amount slider, you will notice that the most distracting blemishes disappear first. So as we increase it to about 10 or 12, you will notice that these distracting blemishes go away, but these small blemishes stay. If we increase it further, you will notice that more distracting blemishes go away and smaller ones still stay. Take it even further and all of them go away at 100%. So any blemish that Photoshop thinks is glaring at you or is more prominent, those will be removed first. Now let's talk about fade. Looking at it, it might seem like it's opacity, but it's not. It's entirely different. Let me share with you another example to make it even clearer. In this example, as you can see, she has some blemishes, some temporary marks. Blemishes that might go away 5 days from now. But she also has some permanent marks like moles or birthmarks and all of that. And it's very interesting how Camera Raw treats them differently. If we go to the remove section, scroll down, let's check remove blemishes. At this point, you might notice that all of the temporary marks are gone. And the amount slider controls just that. As you continue to gradually increase the amount slider, it slowly and gradually removes the temporary blemishes or temporary marks. But the fade slider is for permanent marks. As you can see, she has these birthmarks or moles. If we take the fade slider all the way to the left, all those marks that Photoshop thinks are permanent, they show up. But as we increase the fade amount, they start to fade. It's like an opacity for those marks, and all the way up, like Fat Joe, they all go away. Here it didn't do a perfect job, but you get the point of what these do. I know the names are confusing and I really wish there was a more straightforward name, but just for your simplicity, the top slider is for temporary marks. If I take it all the way to the left, all the temporary marks show up. If I take it all the way to the right, the temporary marks go away. Something that can automatically clear in a few weeks or with good skincare. The second slider is for permanent marks that make you uniquely you. In this case, we have some permanent marks around the body. If we take it all the way to the left, all the permanent marks prominently show up. If we take it to the right, all of them go away. So there's amount slider versus fade. And here's a better name for it for your simplicity. Now, without an ability to adjust and correct things, this feature will not make sense. And of course, Photoshop has it. First of all, as you remove the blemish by clicking on apply, there's another checkbox that allows you to see where the blemishes are removed. So if you scroll up and check show overlay on hover, take a look. As you hover, see, in all of these areas, it marks where blemishes were removed. But if you feel like there are certain areas that are missing, you can obviously correct that. Before correcting that, make sure that Photoshop has not categorized it as a permanent mark. So as soon as I increased the fade, have a look, all of these marks here also went away. But let's say you also wanted to remove this tiny mark here. Let's go to refine and choose what you want to do. Do you want to bring back some of the areas or do you want to remove more? Click on remove if you want to remove. pick the size of the brush and just paint over the blemish. And it should just go away. And if there's an area you want to bring back, you can click on Restore. And let's say you want to bring back that blemish for whatever reason. You paint there and the blemishes are back. Now click on Apply and your image is exactly how you wanted it to be. It also takes into account multiple people in the photo. Here I have my parents, and as soon as we check Apply, you would notice that it has categorized everyone. Now, of course, you have the option to remove the blemishes equally from everyone. So if you have all people selected, the amount and fade would be the same for everyone. Let's say you don't want to do that. Let's say for my mom, I want more blemish removal. Sorry, mom. So as soon as you select the person, you can change the amount and it only affects her face. Have a look at it. There you go. So cool. She'd be so happy. And then you have fade for all the permanent marks that she has. I would keep all the permanent marks that make her her. Now for me, if I go here, I can have my separate controls. Obviously, we want it that way. For my dad as well, we can control it separately. I want to keep some marks and I'm going to stop right there. Let's talk a little bit about quality because it's definitely worth mentioning. I've never seen anyone do blemish removal automatically like this before. Have a look at this. What I mean by that is that as soon as you remove the blemishes, it does it in a way that maintains the texture. Here's the before. See all those blemish areas? Here's the after. It maintains the exact same texture. Take a look here. This will be much clearer. Here's the before. You see that blemish right there? As soon as that blemish goes away, the texture remains the same. Wherever you look, it has maintained the original texture of that area. Have a look right here. Before, after. And I've also never seen anyone treat permanent marks and temporary marks separately, because here I have the temporary marks completely removed. But the permanent marks can stay. For example, these could be permanent birthmarks or moles. As soon as you increase it, they go away too. But if you don't want them to go away, you have the option to keep them. Now let's talk about the shortcomings of this feature, and this is one of the biggest. Let me share with you a completely different feature to make a point. A few versions ago, Photoshop introduced a feature that was a big hit. If you go to the remove section, you'll also find reflections. Amazing feature to remove all the reflections whenever we take a photo through a window or museum glass or whatever. As soon as you hit apply, it automatically incredibly goes away, and on top of that, you have the control to choose how much of the reflection you want back, or just have the reflection for detective purposes. Now here was the great part. I'm going to turn it off for now. Even if you open the photo, you're not working in camera raw, and let's say this is a JPEG, it would still work as a camera raw filter. That's good. The blemish filter also works that way, but here's the catch. If you simply go to Edit, Reflection Removal, it's the same feature. I can pick the quality just like I could in camera raw, and then it automatically removes the reflection in layers. And as you can see in this case, it has automatically created a layer with reflections removed and also a layer with just the reflections. You can see me taking the photo. And this gives me absolute flexibility in layers, but you don't have that with the blemish removal. If you had to use plugins like Retouch for Me, which I highly recommend, you can just make a copy of the background layer by pressing Ctrl or Command J, then go to Filter, Retouch for Me, and Retouch for Me Heal. And as you can see, it's also very, very fast. Once the blemishes are gone, and here as well, you have the sensitivity slider, you can check Make Mask and hit apply. And then it applies as layers, which is what we want. And in this layer, you just have the areas that are replaced, the areas of the blemishes before, after. I just wish the new blemish removal had that feature where we could do the same thing in layers. By the way, Retouch for Me team, you guys need to step up your game, as Photoshop's blemish removal here did a better job. By the way, if you're into retouching and you don't want to worry about tokens, internet, AI, or all of that, and you want to automatically retouch all of your photos locally without any internet, without worrying about credits, I highly recommend offline plugins from Retouch for Me. And you can install a bunch of these plugins. For example, I have a bunch right there, and then I created an action that automatically plays all of them one by one. You can check out this video right here where I talk about it and give you that action. You can just play one of these actions and it automatically takes its time to retouch your photo. You can even drag and drop thousands of photos, leave it overnight, and it will do it all automatically for you. Here in this case, as you can see, it did an incredible job. It has done everything for me. First, it did the blemish removal right there. It did high-end dodging and burning. Photoshop doesn't have that yet. It did contouring if you want that. It cleaned up the eyes. As you can see, all the red veins inside the eyes. It cleaned that up, faded that. It added some contrast, corrected the skin tone. And it can do even more. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can try it absolutely for free on your photos. I'll leave a link to the free trial in the description. And if you're interested, I'll also leave the highest discount possible in the description. Now, obviously here at PiXimperfect, we push it to the limit, and here's what we have. Let's see if it can remove that. Check blemish removal, and it did an okay job. Let's also increase the fade just to make sure that we remove everything. It's not perfect. Here's the before, here's the after. It's a massive improvement. But again, it creates that wavy, weird skin with no texture in some places. Now this, my friend, is called hoping for too much. No plugin can do it. You would have to manually do it with high-end dodging and burning or frequency separation. So obviously there is some limit to it. It does not create layers, but what it does an excellent job there. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to give us a like, and also don't forget to subscribe, and not just subscribe. Ring the bell so that you, my friend, don't miss any other future tips, tricks, or tutorials. It's already 1:30 a.m., 1:31, because I absolutely love connecting with you, and I really hope to see you in the next one. Till then, stay tuned and make sure that you keep creating.
Lucky, lucky, lucky me.